So Auntieways.
So Auntieways.
So Auntieways.
Girl,
What's the tea?
So Auntieways. So Auntieways. So Auntieways. So Auntieways.
Girl.
That means we got to do the worm, do the walk, honey, do some pleasure principle. Hello. Yes. This is an audio podcast also. So describe what you're doing.
I'm dancing.
I'm dancing.
Dancing as fast as you can, you Valium addict. Yes, yes. Welcome to So Auntieways, the podcast that keeps the taint in entertainment. I am Mike Diamond.
I am Miss Matinga.
And I'm Booby.
Hello. Sipping my lovely cocktail. Welcome, welcome one and all to another edition of So Auntieways. How are you guys doing this week?
Pretty good.
Yeah. By the way, I meant to say keeping the taint in entertainment, but I didn't say taintment. I said tainment.
Yes,
So
you did.
I'm sorry to disappoint you.
Keeping the tame in entertainment.
But thank you for the opportunity. Thank you, each and every one of you. Thank you for the opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a new day in the workroom.
I was also thinking about another tune that we used to like, but you might have been in LA, Michael, but there was a song that me and Booby used to love. It's U2, which we're not big
Lemon?
fans of U2. Lemon.
Honey, I looked for it. That is the Bad Yard mix of Lemon. And it is not on Spotify. So let's let the listeners know what we're talking about. We have released our 80s playlist. Don't Cause It, playlist of 80s music on Spotify. We're about to release our 90s music playlist, which harkens back to Booby and Matinga's heyday in the clubs. I was, of course, still in junior high school. And some of the songs that we wanted to include are not available on Spotify, such as Lemon by U2, the Bad Yard mix. Yeah.
She's Liz Lemon.
She sure is.
In the sunlight.
You know what
No,
else?
she's Ginny Lemon.
Oh, honey, she better not be Ginny Lemon.
She's Jenny Lemon with a
Just-
big hairy asshole.
Oh, just walk away, Renee. Honey, no.
Our
Miss
80s
Booby dipped out.
Oh, Miss Booby dipped out, but she'll be right back. But I
She's
will
like,
say,
don't talk about Miss Jenny Lemon.
don't talk about Miss Jenny Lemon, Miss Benita Betrayal.
Uh-uh.
I do want to say in homage to our 80s playlist, by the way, I think our Goonies playlist and our 80s playlists are fantastic.
Sorry about that.
But in homage, I will say that I wore my Janet Jackson sweatshirt today.
Describe it for the people that are listening, which is basically everyone.
Everybody.
Yeah, it is a Janet Jackson sweatshirt, kind of a shiny material. Got it at Pop Gangsta Etsy.
Shiny like Janet herself.
Yeah, shiny, beautiful image.
she
It's like that, it's that control image that was on the very first album.
Yeah.
And
That
I
does
live
it with the poofy, hair coming out the side with the head wrap.
like the early image, but she
Right.
looks so beautiful. She looks so
This is a
beautiful.
story about a hole. My hole.
My hole. I've
Yeah.
The
lost
whole
all
of what I say, the whole in what I do.
what I do.
And this time,
I'm going to hold it my way.
That's right. this hole is out of control.
a
And I've got-
hole.
Oh.
Oh, what do we used to sing back in the day? A troll born so
troll.
long ago.
No, but I honestly used to think that, and I thought it was fierce because I was just like a little high school kid. But I used to think that she was saying, ooh, soaked in blood, ooh, soaked in blood, ooh.
Oh,
I'd be like, soaked in blood. That's so fierce.
You told me that, and now every time I hear When I Think of You, I can only hear your version, and I curse your name.
And I'm like, I don't get it. Why should, but honey, soak it in blood, honey.
Like, you know that song, is it called Hopeless by Dion Farris? I don't know what the real line is, but you said the line was, the nuts on my head itch.
The nuts in my head itch.
And now I can't hear it the normal way.
Oh, my God.
Like a penny with a hole in it.
But that's the magic of music. It's the magic of music.
Also, I will say that somebody is goofing on my Blue Savannah. So Richard Haney is goofing on my choice.
It's pronounced Hanai.
Haney. That was actually my choice. I was like, can we please throw in Blue Savannah song? And you were like, fine.
Yeah, by the way, I don't like that song. But
I love that song.
It's collaborative. The
It always reminds me of the Saint at Large dances.
The Saint. Booby, I was just about to say, it reminds me of the Saint. It
Yeah.
reminds me of going to the Saint. Absolutely.
And the Rose Bowl, the Rose
Roseland.
Roseland for the black party and the white party, and the queens were going to bring out their fans.
Oh my God! And like there were porn stars shitting on the dance floor.
Yeah.
Good times.
I don't mean that figuratively.
No. Oh yeah. There's that great. Yeah, there's that Gawker video with I think it was Rod Townsend interviewing people as they came out of the black party the night that somebody did release themselves on the dance floor.
We were there.
You can't find that video, but my God, it was funny.
Oh my
Anyway,
God.
before we get into the meat, the mystery meat of this particular episode, do be on the lookout for our 90s music playlist coming out very soon. Enjoy our 80s playlist, which you can find in our link tree. And some songs, as Matinga was saying, are not on Spotify, so we couldn't include them. Some gems like Work This Pussy and I'm a Bitch and the remix of Ethel Meatplow Queenie. Fucking bitch, cunt, fucking bitch, cunt. Some of them are just not on Spotify. So
that one you sent yesterday was hot. I had forgotten about
in the middle of love.
Caught in the middle of well, Chanel used to be on the dance floor. LOVE.
She's doing the sign language.
LOVE love.
Miss Juliet Roberts, honey.
Yes.
Oh, Miss Honey makes a good point. She'd be in the 90s playlist. So let's get into the content, the meat, the mystery meat. And I've decided, because I unilaterally make decisions for all three of us, that we're going to go in alphabetical order this week. So Miss Booby, why don't you kick us off with, girl, what are you seeing? What are you featuring?
It's kind of silly, but I'm featuring today on the Hallmark Channel a marathon showing of the Golden Girls.
Yes.
Hello.
Applause all around for that.
Live.
Yes.
Because, I have no interest in the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even know the Super Bowl was happening today.
It's today, honey.
Here
in Tampa or near us in Tampa.
Yeah, I didn't even know. But I did hear a little bit of a diss. I didn't know it was happening today, but yesterday I was watching the news and I thought it was very interesting that they dissed because they said they were talking about how The Weeknd is going to be singing completely live. He made a statement, I am singing live. And all of the instrumentation is going to be live. No backing tracks, no backing vocals. It's a live band and he's singing live. And I think it was a shot across the bow of J-Lo and Shakira. I really do. Because people were saying, because people have been sort of saying that their performance wasn't great. Honey, I think their performance is one of the most legendary and incredible.
It's fabulous.
It was everything it needed to be. It was entertaining. It was sexy. It was tight. It was fast. It was, it was everything. And I'm just saying everyone seems to be down on Shakira and J-Lo this year. And and then The Weeknd comes out and says, "Oh, no, I'm singing live."
Well,
honey, they were incredible.
Some people are slamming J-Lo because she did part of her inauguration thing in Spanish. So consider the source where it's coming from. It's not coming from a good place.
Right.
I like J-Lo. I don't like the fact that she wears fur. I'm not into it. And mink eyelashes, I'm not into it. Booby, I want to circle back to Golden Girls, but I just want to say that the thing I was not seeing this week was going to be the Super Bowl. So since we're already talking about it, I'm just going to say, I don't see it. Also, I didn't know it was happening until yesterday either.
I had no idea. However, the Golden Girls. And watch a marathon of the Golden Girls.
Right now.
Right now. Like the Golden Girls is like Lucy, where will always be entertaining.
Timeless.
You could have seen the episode 50 times. You're still going to laugh. It's truly iconic.
Miss Booby, how many episodes have you watched?
2. I had to go to the gym this morning. I haven't been to the gym in 3 weeks.
Which 2?
The one with where Blanche is dating an older gentleman named Fidel. Then he starts dating Sophia.
You're gonna bathe in an inch of water. Yeah. Fidel Santiago.
Yeah. And the one where they were in a game show.
Oh, grab that dough.
No, it's a different one where these two guys and Blanche and Dorothy were choose door number 1, door number 2, door number 3, and they won. They chose 3, and it was a skillet that they won. They could have won a car or living room furniture. It was funny.
All of them are funny. I binge watched every single episode last year during lockdown, straight through from beginning to end, and I've seen them all 100 times, and I enjoyed them all.
Yeah,
I enjoyed them all.
Yeah, one of my favorite asides, and I'm going to paraphrase here, is some little tangent that Rose goes on about, like, if a bear fucks a hamster, the hamster would explode.
Yeah,
And that would be horrible.
Right.
And just that just always makes me laugh.
Golden Girls pops into my head every day. Earlier today, I was thinking about the episode where Rose has a heart attack and like they're cryogenically frozen.
yes.
And Dorothy's like to Sophia, "How did you get a body?" And she's like, "You didn't tip the guy." I'm like, her line reading is so funny.
Yeah.
It's still, that is some good stuff. I applaud that choice, Miss Booby.
Thank you.
Yes. And Matinga, what are you featuring this week?
Well, if we're going alphabetically, wouldn't you be next?
Mike comes after Matinga.
Oh,
Also, so does Shadiamond.
So I had to reach a little bit for mine. So I'm just going to say 3 quick things super fast. So I am featuring this week legalizing pot. Because I think it's about time in New York City to legalize pot, especially since this town is so crazy in billions and billions of dollars of debt at the moment because of the economic crisis caused by the pandemic. So, honey, now's the time to legalize the pot. If we're ever going to do it, let's do it now, because the taxes on it will go a long way to helping. Right. Also, after 7 years with my glasses that I love so much, I went and got an eye exam this week, so I'll have new glasses in 2 weeks. And I went a completely different route.
Girl, so did I.
Did you?
Yeah, I'm getting 2 pairs of glasses in 2 weeks.
Me too.
Aviators.
Ooh.
I'll wear them to here so but the world can see, or we can describe them. Prescription.
Yes, I got a pair of prescription sunglasses and a pair of prescription glasses. But one of the reasons I'm so glad about it is I have bifocals. I have like transitions so you don't see the line. But bitch, I'm blind, and I had been so long since I had gotten a new pair of glasses, like I couldn't read small print. And you know that I read comics and trade paperbacks, and I was like, you know what? It's time right now to invest in a pair of glasses because I need them. So I'm psyched about that. And then also the classic jams that we threw down into our 2 lists. I have been jamming for days. So that's what I'm featuring. I'm featuring a couple things this week.
And people have been suggesting some cool things like Gwen Guthrie's song Peanut Butter, the Larry Levan mix.
Oh.
And I'm like, yes, because who can remember everything? But I'm like, yeah, that totally works.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And as far as your glasses, I am so glad that you're getting transition lenses because you've been transitioning for so long.
Trust.
Thank you.
Anything to help that along.
Trust.
Right. If not titties, then transitional glasses.
Yeah.
I am always featuring our trans brothers and sisters, always being featured on So Auntieways. Oh.
Can we take a little side tangent into trans land for a minute? So I don't know how I feel about this, but Martina Navratilova.
Right.
Did you hear about this?
No.
So she, I love that you're so invested in something you have not heard about.
Right. Go ahead, girl.
Yeah. So she is part of some organization that's trying to get Biden to make exclusions to the transgender inclusion aspects of professional sports. She wants there to be exclusions for professional
exclusions
that trans people. So like a trans woman, a woman who's transitioned, can't play in the women's tennis league, for example. And I gotta say, like, on the surface, I don't think I like that. And I think Matinga's frozen. So she's gone. But one point she made is that, yes, even if someone self-identifies as a female and they are a woman, they still have the biological advantages
Of a man's body.
of a man's biology. So I
Right.
feel a little like, that's interesting, but my instinct is no, she's wrong.
What are we talking about real quick?
Martina, I can't summarize that. Martina Navratilova, should transgender women be allowed access to play in women's sports leagues, professional and elite and college level?
I'm going to say yes. There are some interesting questions because
It's complicated, right?
Right, because if you transition from say male to female, your musculature is going to be different than that of a woman who was born
female.
biologically female. You're still equally the same amount of woman in my eyes.
Same amount of woman.
Same amount of woman, but the woman that's born biologically male may have an advantage in certain sports that would have to be addressed.
See, like that.
What's that
tennis,
one where you throw
shot put? Yeah.
Isn't that called javelin?
No, javelin.
No,
is
it's
stick.
the ball.
My new drag name,
ball.
Javelin Champagne King.
Javelin Champagne King.
She's an athlete, darling, and her love comes down. So
my new drag name, she's Dominican, Miss Jahira Lawyer. Jahira Lawyer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Candy Muse. So I like that actually.
Javelin, you're living for, but Jahira Lawyer gets pooped on?
Because Javelin Champagne King, darling, I came up with it in the moment.
I just came up with Jahira Lawyer.
You're
in the
a
moment.
liar. You made that up at 5 a.m. after staying up all night watching Bionic Woman for some reason that only God knows. So
By the way,
will
it is
say,
snowing so hard in New York City, like for hours.
Really?
Yeah, it's been snowing so hard.
girl, I shoveled so
like
much snow this
crazy.
week. I'm not meant for it, darling. A man of 38 should not spend that many hours a week shoveling snow.
And
Let
so let's
alone
go
a man in
find
his
one and
50s.
ask him.
All right. So anyway, but listen, here's the thing. So
Yeah.
what Martina Navratilova is saying, that perspective holds a little more weight than the turf crowd that's saying, oh, it's, men just trying to co-opt our spaces. Nah, bitch.
Nah.
No.
Ain't nobody gonna get titties to co-opt your space, bitch.
Look, I'm gonna become a woman, and women get less money in this world, less respect, less autonomy. Like
Just
I'm gonna
a little bit.
like that's like the same thing as saying I chose to be gay. I chose to be gay, even though
Who
there's
would choose this?
who would you like even
look
though
at
like
you.
you're like a
Just
second,
look at you.
look
Look
at
at me. For God's
don't-
sakes.
you choose the thing that's easier. You don't choose the thing that's harder.
Right. If you have
Well.
a choice. Oh, Booby, must you be so vulgar?
Well.
Darling. But here's the thing about being a woman, being born a woman. To quote Golden Girls, Miss Blanche, God has given you nature's credit card. Use it. You don't have to respect men, and God knows there's no reason to. Manipulate them. Use that to get what you want.
Power of
That's
the
just
pussy,
how I feel.
honey.
Power of the pussy,
Power of
darling.
the pussy, honey. It's juicy and it's got power.
Speaking of juicy and got power, what I am featuring this week,
Yes.
I want to give a shout out to DJ Lena. Okay.
Oh.
Miss Lena
Yes,
Bradford.
ma'am.
So, since the pandemic, a lot of people in that, by the way, that was super loud, girl. What the hell was that? Was that your monster rehab?
Ooh,
You.
it is. It's my monster rehab.
Oh, God. Okay. So, since the pandemic, a lot of people that we know actually in nightlife, drag performers, club performers, and DJs have been out of work. So, I think it's very important to support them in the endeavors that they're doing online. For instance, DJs like Vivacious and Carrie Nation and tons of others have been doing sets on Instagram and other platforms, Twitch and whatnot. And you can support them by tipping them.
Live for Vivacious.
Yeah.
And Miss Kevin Aviant's also doing live streams.
Yes.
Really fabulous.
So I think it's really important to support people. And one person that I've been really enjoying and supporting is Miss DJ Lena. She does usually on Saturdays, although she did one on Tuesday last week because of the snowstorm. But she does these sets. And if you've ever seen Lena do a set like at the Pines, she is gorgeous and she is glamorous and she performs with every fucking song. So
Yeah.
you're not just listening, you're getting a show, honey. And Miss Lean is going to give you a show. So if you're looking for something to check out that's super, super enjoyable, and she did a fabulous disco set on Tuesday, honey. She went for Earth, Wind, and Fire and Diana Ross and George Benson, and bitch, she went in.
Wow.
I mean, she went in. So it's the Lena Bradford.
What does she
on
do? Does she
Instagram.
lip sync to it?
And dances, and she's got her shoe collection and her Barbies. And
She's got her
she's looking-
Barbies. That
and she's
Barbie
looking
collection is
amazing.
Yeah.
So that's the Lena Bradford, TheLinaBradford, the Lena Bradford on Instagram. She is well worth your time. She is wonderful. Please support her and other club and bar performers that are seeking alternative ways to get themselves out there. So my thing that I'm featuring is DJ Lena Bradford.
Miss Lena Bradford.
Her hair has been turning it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. So that's what I'm
Yes.
featuring. Let's move on to some bitterness now. Now, my thing that I wasn't seeing, of course, was the Super Bowl because why? I don't know.
Did anyone else hear that Lena's going on tour with the Harlem Globetrotters?
I was going to tag her. I was going to tag her in this, and now I'm not.
Just being silly.
I got to say, I saw the Harlem Globetrotters when I was a kid
Oh my God, really?
on like some Boy Scout thing. And
They were
playing at
ubiquitous.
They were playing at Nassau Coliseum, and I remember I went to his little boys' room, and I got lost on the way back. And bitch, when you're like 7 years old, Nassau Coliseum is huge.
Yeah.
I could have been snatched up at any point and absconded away and taken advantage of by some men.
Who was the main Harlem Globetrotter? Larry something or other.
Oh,
Curly.
Lena Bradford.
Oh no,
Yeah.
there was one main
Curly.
one that was really popular. His name was Larry. No, Larry
And
and
he was
Curly
like on-
were also,
And he was like on
they were-
Scooby Doo.
and he was on Scooby Doo. You were hoping to meet him. You were hoping he'd drive you away in his Cadillac.
Listen, I was just like, everybody in the fucking crowd looks the same. And I didn't pay no mind to my Boy Scout troop. Or Cub Scout. I never made it to Boy Scout because I was kicked out, by the way, for instigating a discussion about abortion. But I say an educated youth is a powered youth. So
Thank you.
anyway, so what I'm not featuring is the Super Bowl. Fuck sports. I don't get it. Yes, athletes are hot, but I don't understand the concept of the Super Bowl. Isn't it the same game every year?
An interesting thing about this game, you know that we don't follow sports at all. Our dear friend John does, but and he will certainly be watching. But one of the interesting things about this game, however, is that Tom Brady was going to retire, but he decided to leave the Patriots after a long and illustrious career.
Is he the needy one that's married to the model?
To Giselle.
She's married to Giselle Bundchen, yeah. And he also screwed over Bridget Monahan, but that's a whole nother thing. But he was going to retire then, but he decided to leave the Patriots because I guess the Patriots were like, retire or whatever. He signed with the Buccaneers after the Tampa Bay Buccaneers after a long and illustrious career with the Patriots, and people really dissed him about that. They also said that he's older, he's in his 40s, which isn't old, but it's quite old for a quarterback. And honey, he made it to the Super Bowl again. It's such a triumph. It's really a triumph.
Does that mean that he's in it this year?
Yes.
He's in it this year. Yeah, with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
But isn't he a who supporter?
Yes.
A Trump supporter? He may be.
Thank you, Richard.
And I'm not
may
feeling
be.
it.
Richard, do you have misophonia? Would you like me not to drink on camera?
Let me say this about I think it was the Monster Rehab. Let me say this about Tom Brady. He is big and fine and sexy and meaty.
He's very handsome.
So even though he's a Republican, I would do him. But when I do him, I'd be like, yo, call me Giselle.
Okay, Richard. Giselle,
honey.
just call me Giselle.
Giselle. And honey, I'm bunching. Trust. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm not featuring. Miss Booby. What
Girl,
are
how
you
was
not
how was the club last night? Oh, Miss Thing was so Giselle.
It was Giselle.
It was Giselle.
My runway was Giselle.
Girl, Miss Junior was Giselle.
Gisaw. Giselle.
Yeah.
WWW.
I put the jizz in
Giselle.
Giselle.
Girl,
Miss-
honey, that Lima was Giselle.
Miss Booby, what are you not featuring?
What I'm not featuring is, and it's going to sound really stupid, but just hear me out.
Okay.
I walk a lot of dogs during the week, especially before the hour of noon. And so I see a lot of people, a lot of neighbors who live in this vicinity where I walk the dogs. And so I say, good morning. And some of them, do you hear
An echo?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, okay. I say good morning, and some people don't respond at all. They'll give me a frown and it's like such bad manners in my mind. I'm like, well, maybe I find myself creating reasons why they're not responding with good morning back, or even a nod, like just a response, like a humane response. I'm like, maybe they don't speak English. Maybe they're having a bad day.
Maybe you're brown.
Maybe I'm brown.
Maybe you're brown.
Hello.
Downtown
This
Booby
is
Brown.
for real. So, but that's my pet peeve for the week is not responding to a simple good morning and bad manners.
Boo, just so that you know that I'm being honest here. So, I don't know if you can see my notes. So,
manners.
Not featuring bad manners.
Oh my God.
So not featuring bad manners.
For the listening audience, describe what just happened visually.
I have a list of notes for when we're doing our piece, and on my notes, I just put it up to the camera. Exactly what Booby's not featuring: bad manners.
But did you write those notes on a paper plate?
No. These are just on a piece of loose leaf.
On paper.
Just a piece of loose leaf. Yeah.
Well, Booby, I want to say that I am of two minds about what you said, because on the one hand, yes, I think if someone says good morning, it takes no effort to say good morning back.
Or
on
nod.
The other, or whatever, acknowledge people. On the other hand, look, bitch, I'm up here in Hickory Farms where people will drive by and wave and shit. Don't wave at me. You don't know me like that. I don't care if I drive by your house 40 times a week. You don't know me like that. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Little girl, you don't know me. I crack myself up.
I see.
Also, because if they acknowledge you, that means they have to say hello every time they see you.
I know. And there are some people that do that every morning. They have dogs too, and they're like, good morning, how you doing? And it's almost like we know each other, even though we really don't know each other.
I will acknowledge the dog, but I will say hello to the little puppy, but I'm not going to acknowledge the person at the other end of the leash. I don't know them.
Mm-hmm.
They might be trying to press up on me to get all these good goodies, honey.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get those good goodies. You and Sierra.
Yes, bitch. Is no one going to ask what I'm drinking?
I see strawberries in it.
Yes, darling. I had strawberries with champagne.
Get out of here.
Like last week, you had a Bellini, didn't you?
That's right. Because I got to have alcohol to face you two hags.
Mm-hmm.
My darling hag fishes. So, Booby, I am of two minds, but if it offends you, it offends me.
Okay, then.
Why don't you say to them the next time that they ignore you, you say, excuse me, I am speaking to you. Whitey.
What, you ain't got a mouth?
You ain't got a mouth? Do it.
No, this one person that I see, this guy, he's doing speed walking. I see him every day. I say good morning, and he just looks the other way. Yesterday I said good morning, and he said good morning. So
speed walking, so he's like on crystal. That explains a lot. That's not cute, darling.
Listen, it's not easy to speed walk with a 12-inch dildo in your butt.
But somehow
it gets done.
It gets done. Wow. Well,
yeah.
You know what? Bad manners, not cute.
I agree. I'll throw in what I'm not featuring. I'm also not featuring bad manners this week. I was at the supermarket this week and experienced bad manners when I asked for assistance. And like you guys know me, like I honestly and truly believe that I think some people can see manners and being polite as maybe old fashioned or maybe a little bit dorky
Right.
or you know, or just maybe like that's just not the world that they live in. They don't even speak to people, they only text. But the thing is that it's not old fashioned. It doesn't have to be something, because some people do use manners and being polite to hold people at a distance. You can use good manners to hold people at a distance. You can. But that's not really what manners are for. Uh, uh, Being polite and being respectful of other people, that is, and having good manners, that is the social grease of life. And it lets you maneuver social situations with more grace and make people feel comfortable, which is what we should want to do in this
Right.
world. We
Like-
should want people to feel comfortable.
You say, please go fuck yourself.
right.
It's the
Well,
social
sometimes-
lubricant, darling.
Well, but
Please.
sometimes you do have to say, please go fuck yourself. You do. But you know what? Also, like, I think that if you are in service, and I have been in many service positions, not only
Kinky.
sexual, but professional as well. And
Right.
if you are in a service position, and you know, I always used to say, you know, because I was a concierge and I was a front desk agent, that once I punched in, the next 8 hours, they weren't about me. They weren't about my baby mama drama, my you know, lost boyfriend, my family drama. The next 8 hours, I am of service to the guests. And that means trying my best to make things easier for them and make them feel welcome and give them all the information they need. And so I really do believe that there is a weird sort of self-centeredness in the world, a weird sort of selfishness in youth culture that it doesn't leave any space for that. Doesn't leave
Old people
space
could
for
be
good
rude as fuck too.
True,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
but dementia is not cute, mama.
Exactly.
Why are you saying that to me?
Mm.
And so,
Like-
and you know what? Maybe that's just go on.
It's like people at a supermarket shopping center that don't put the shopping cart back where they go. I hate that. Don't just leave it floating around. Some kids getting paid bupkis to round those carts up. Put the cart back where it goes. Don't
Yeah.
be an asshole. It takes
Yeah.
30 seconds of your goddamn day. You know what I mean? Especially up here with these rubes. There's a lot of that going on. So yes, these rude rubes. Miss Booby, I thought for sure you were going to say something else. I thought for sure you were going to bring up RuPaul.
Oh, that's
You could-
another thing that I
Well,
don't
since
feature.
my Super Bowl thing was discussed earlier and Matinga's not featuring echoes yours about bad manners, why don't we talk about what's bothering you about RuPaul's Drag Race?
I think that Candy should have been knocked out. She did not even finish lip syncing her word. She didn't lip sync completely. She got at one point. It looked like she was. She forgot her words.
It looked
And-
like that to me too, and it looked like Rue was looking at her.
Yeah,
And with that horrible magic marker makeup on her face?
oh, it was horrible. And I thought Tamisha did great. I did. Tamisha
Especially with the
Felicia.
ostomy bag. I gagged.
with a
I gagged.
colostomy bag. They should have
I
taken that to
gagged.
account.
I was
This is the
gasping.
second time that they've knocked out somebody. Oh no, the first time was in UK when they knocked out the African.
Oh, Estina.
Yeah, when they knocked her out, and I think she should have stayed.
Not with them shoulders.
Yeah, but Tia was tired.
I love
No,
Tia.
I like
love
Tia.
I think she's
like
tired.
Tia.
That outfit.
Yeah. And also, like, listen, Tia maybe isn't quite as fierce, but I think that she could be. I think she just like needs to get those skills a little bit better. But honey, she won that lip sync. Like that was an emotional. She won the lip sync.
I think
Tia
she's
won
really
the lip sync.
smart, and I think she's really funny. I really
Yeah.
like her a lot,
Mm.
actually.
And Estina was kind of boring. Like we've seen that, been there, done
And
that.
she was,
been that
and she
queen.
was serving you, man. Talk about Super Bowl, honey. With those shoulders, nuh-uh. So
But with Miss Candy, I do believe that I think that they you know, they did it on a curve for her. They you know, scored her on a curve because I kind of felt like. And then the thing is like you're trying to dance full out and you have a colostomy bag. And after I found out that Tamisha had the colostomy bag, you could see, oh, she's being sort of
As well,
tender
careful.
about it. She's being careful.
Well, it's an ostomy bag. It wasn't a colostomy. It was an ostomy bag. So
What's the
So
difference?
what is the difference?
So a colostomy bag is
Can get shit.
an ostomy is just it's one
urine.
it's one portion of your internal organs emptying into that. A colostomy bag is,
Both portions.
you know, honey, it's raining men. Like you're getting the whole party.
Right.
Okay.
What? What does that mean? This thing, what does that mean?
Listen, that's as medical as I want this episode to get.
You're getting shit and blood and,
God bless
and
Mother
mucus.
Nature.
pigeons.
Pigeons,
like-
honey.
Forget it.
Jumping a Ramsey Daisy. So I will say, you know, Miss Candy, the reason that they're keeping her, and of course they wanted that showdown after the horrible fight on Untucked.
Right.
Because, you know, truth be told, Olivia Lux looked gorgeous, but her dress was boring.
She looked beautiful though.
Her wigs were fab.
Yeah.
You know, Miss Thing, Tina Burner with the hot, enough with the ketchup and mustard colors. I'm
Yeah.
sick of it. Okay.
Yeah, so am I.
What's with
The
her her boy beat is really terrible.
It's very
Miss
ruddy,
Tina-
but
yeah.
but they're keeping Candy because she is the de facto villain of the season and she's
Right.
the
Right.
antagonist and she's good television.
I can't wait
because
till she gets knocked out. And
Because
she
she's
will.
a goofball. No, she's going to hang around
Right.
to the end, honey, because she's good television. It's not a competition. It's a reality television show. And
Right.
it's
And maybe-
manipulated.
Tamisha was maybe never in the running really to win.
Not a bad time for her to exit because she didn't embarrass herself and she did pretty well. And, you know,
With
she
a
has
lot of
increased
grace.
her-
Yeah.
Because in the end, I said what I said.
I said, little girl,
I said what I said.
Little
Now-
girl.
flip over to Drag Race UK for a
Yes.
second. What'd y'all make of Ginny Lemon stomping off?
I thought that was silly.
I thought it was lame.
I thought it was
she
a
had
sore loser.
Yeah.
I thought she had a chance to go way further. She
Yeah.
throws herself on the samurai sword for Sister, who is tired, who didn't have her back, who supposedly was her best friend in the competition, but didn't have her back, who's a tired queen, who will not be making it to the finale.
I don't think she's a tired
Who-
queen. And I think she's
tired.
she's suitable for a pump and dump. Keep the mummy outfit on or not, whatever.
And never throw in the towel. Don't
never quit.
don't bend to la creme it, because you know
She
what?
didn't
Like,
even bend it- honey, she Charlie Hided it.
she
that's-
Charlie hided it.
Hided it?
She had it.
She hided it.
Giselle. So, okay,
Giselle.
let's move on to a little segment that we like to call Just the Facts.
Remember that episode of Facts of Life when Mrs. Garrett got caught stealing?
This is a segment where we like to discuss an episode of the classic 1980 sitcom, The Facts of Life. And Booby, by that sound you made, I can tell you're excited.
Oh, ecstatic.
I just want to say to both of you, fuck you. she gulps down that monster rehab for this. So, what episode are we doing this week?
Matinga.
So we are doing season 1, episode 7, Running, in which
No,
Natalie
we
gets
are
her
not.
first.
No, we're
dieting.
not. No, we're not.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. We are doing season. I'm so sorry. We are doing season 1, episode 7, which is dieting. In this episode, Natalie gets her first period.
Yeah. And I just want to clarify, Matinga, did you watch this week's episode?
I did. I missed one episode, bitch. Don't try me.
1 out of
Was it
3
one?
before. That's 33%. You missed.
Miss Honey, we've been at this for a decade.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So the episode is called Dieting, and it is about weight loss.
Dieting.
It's sort of about eating disorders, but not really. Sort of, kind
Not
of, but
really.
yes and no.
No, it's just about the pressure that society puts on
Pressure.
young women to be thin. But I think that there's an interesting meta moment in this episode, because this is the first season, right? And like all the girls, including Miss Garrett, go on a diet. because Sue-Ann is going to meet up with some cute, like, Harvard kid. And, of course, Miss Blair
Mr.
is just
Big.
gorgeous. Mr. Big. And also, I will say that Mr. Bradley, looking handsome here. I don't know. I think you guys have taken me over to the dark side. I don't know. Handsome in the
I
face.
have some thoughts about Mr. Bradley.
Mr. Bradley. But I will say that having been a fan of this show when it was first on, this show lasted for 7 seasons. And at some point later on, right, around season 4 or 5, when the show had pared itself down to Tootie, Natalie, Blair, and Joe. Joe's not on the show yet.
Blair.
All of the actresses gained weight. They all got big. All of them. Like, Natalie had always been big, but all of the actresses got big. And NBC came down on these. They've all talked about it. Came down on all of them really hard.
Because they were like, yo, Tartikoff was like, yo, the show is not called The Facts of Ham.
Yeah, like, they were like, you guys need to lose weight. And particularly Kim Fields and Lisa Whelchel said that it was destructive to them. Like, that it was destructive. So I think it's interesting that, like, they do an episode about dieting, trying sort of to say all the right things, but then Hollywood later said, no, you bitches are fat and you got to lose weight.
Well,
Very
also
fat.
very fat. But also, this is like 1980, and people were just skinnier then.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a lot of cocaine and disco drama going on. And by the way, all of these girls are young and thin and gorgeous.
Yes.
Okay. So even on its surface, it's ridiculous that Sue-Ann would need to go on a diet. She's absolutely gorgeous.
She goes on a starvation diet.
Because Blair puts it in her head. The porks of life. Oh, Richard. Because Blair puts it in her head that she's too fat, that Sue-Ann is too fat for this Scott Dunbar, who is like the tennis champ, Mr. Big, old money, new money, da 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 da. And they have
we never get to see him.
We never do, but they have a sassy little back and forth, because I guess that Sue-Ann had been set up as Blair's frenemy before Joe came along.
Right.
And she gives as good as she gets.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
And
she's sassy.
I was cringing when all of them, when she brings the scale down and she's like, everybody on the scale. And you know what? Like, in a totally lesser way, in a far lesser way. But you know, growing up, I was a chubby kid, and I remember feeling after I came out the weight, my own weight, but also the weight of having people judge me. And you know, I remember people saying, oh, you'd be so cute if you just lost a little bit of weight. Oh, you'd be so cute if you just grew your facial hair out. Oh, you'd be so cute, you know, if you didn't fucking look like a stuffed sausage, you know. And
isn't there a book by an overweight woman called Such a Pretty Face? Because that's a line that people say to quote unquote overweight women. Oh, but you have such a pretty face, which is passive aggressive as fuck.
Yeah.
But what they're really saying is, but your ass is huge.
And also,
it took.
Go ahead.
It took me a long time to. I was a fat nerdy kid, and then I got thin in my club and ballroom days, and then I gained weight again and became a bear. And it was becoming a bear and joining the bear community and my dear friend John Outcalt. And it was a long journey to me finally at 50 being a heavyset guy, a big, hairy, heavyset guy, and being able to look in the mirror and think, that's a sexy man. And that's, you know, I don't have to be anything more than this. But society, you would be surprised that you do feel the weight of that. You feel the weight of other people's opinions, and finally one day you just wake up and you're like, you know what? I don't care about other people's opinions anymore.
You're like, fuck it, I'm just gonna wear caftans.
Yeah, I'm just gonna throw on this caftan, you know, and throw on Ethel Meat Plow.
But you know who's got the right attitude in this is Natalie.
Yes.
Natalie's like, I don't want to be a skinny pencil when I can be a happy magic marker.
That's right. And the audience applauded.
Yeah, she's like, no, I like myself just as I am. And I will say the costume designer, shady, because if you notice, Natalie's wearing a sweatshirt emblazoned with the image of a whale.
No.
I thought that was so shady. Yeah.
But
She's got
I
a
thought it
whale
was a cute
shirt
moment
on.
though. I did think it was a cute moment though because she really does have self-confidence and she should because she's so funny but there is like that moment where the super cute grocery delivery guy who was
That's
cute.
the one that you missed in the first episode that was dating Blair.
That's the one that was dating Blair.
He's
Isn't he
so
lovely?
fucking he's
Luke
so
Skywalker.
Cute. Yeah, but you know what? Also very like 1983 West Hollywood trade.
Yeah.
Girl,
Like street trade.
Let me tell you
very
this.
like Cheers and Rage trade.
Steve, the delivery guy, who's super hot. You know the internet can suck you in. I did a little bit of a dive on him. Okay. And I don't want to give too many specifics, but
he did gay porn.
But he did compose music for straight porn. And there's something online about he got shut out by the gay mafia because he wouldn't sleep with David Geffen.
Wow.
Because he had been in some real things like Skate Town USA, quality stuff.
Right.
So listeners, if you do a little digging, you can find information about this guy, and he's still around, by the way.
Wow, he's still alive.
Yeah.
I wonder what he looks like.
He looks all right, but
okay. But he gives her the diet thing, but then later he does come back
and apologizes.
And he gives her a book. And actually at that point I was like, is he macking on her just a little bit?
I think he was like, I'll let her give me a hand job.
Yeah.
You know what? I would have given him that. Even though he's giving it to me like because he feels I'd have done that hand job and that dick would have ended up in my mouth.
Yeah, and she's like, yo, give me that instant breakfast. Give it to me.
Carnation,
darling.
Oh, you do it just because you feel sorry? Honey, you'll feel sorry after I do it.
I'll give you Larry, Curly, and Mo. What about it?
What is Steve, the delivery guy's real name?
His name is Greg Bradford, but he did compose music for porn under the name Montel Bradford, which I find hilariously black.
Very much like Tyrone.
Or is Montel Bradford really Lena Bradford?
Oh,
the plot thickens.
Or is Lena Bradford really Montel Jordan?
This is how they do it.
How they do it.
This is how we do it.
So through the course of the episode, Sue Ann is starving herself. Mrs. Garrett is also going on a diet because she's a size 14 and she wants to be a size 12 with this purple dress, and Tootie's sparking it like Tootie do. And Mr. Bradley comes in and is like, we got to force feed this bitch. And I want to say about Mr. Bradley, I think him and Mrs. Garrett genuinely dislike each other.
Yes.
They genuinely dislike each other. I think that Mr. Bradley probably has a 14-inch cock. However, he can't get it up because judging by his pallid complexion, he has poor circulation and clogged arteries. I have spoken.
It's 14 inches, but it's total pencil flaccid dick. So it's like a wet noodle.
I'd rather
you
have
could wear like a
skinny pencil or the happy magic marker.
You just walk into the office and he puts it across your wrist like a slap bracelet.
Spam. It's a moist, musty, grayish tone.
Yes. Yes.
Ew. Okay, that's not relevant. But so what happens? How does it all come to light that Sue Ann is doing her best little girl in the world anorexia kick? Which, by the way, the words anorexia are never mentioned.
Never.
I think it's funny. I think it's or bulimia, but I think it's funny that rather than she only has a week though. She only has a week, so of course she does a crash starvation diet. But like in my head, I'm like, Miss Garrett's saying the right thing. Let's go in and have an apple. Let's go in and have a banana. Let's try and eat sensibly.
Right.
Even though at
rice pudding.
Her diet seems kind of funny too because she comes in and she is having a raw green pepper and some lettuce, like a raw green pepper. It's like, girl, what diet is that? Like,
Yeah.
so
While the
but-
rest of the girls are eating, quote, mystery meat.
mystery meats.
I'm
Which
like,
is like,
his name is Mr. Bradley.
but
Just
you know
tell
what
it like it is.
you know what mystery meat is? Have you ever
What?
had
Caballo.
have you ever had a shit on a shingle? That dish called shit on a shingle? Used to get it in
No.
school all the time. It was like this weird meat over white rice.
Yeah.
And it was like a beef porky type meat, but it wasn't spam. But we used to call it shit on a shingle. Shit
I don't
on a
want to
shingle
talk about
day.
Tamisha's ostomy bag anymore.
It's that kind of thing. There is a word for that meal. I forget. We used to call it shit on a
Disgusting.
shingle. Yeah, but it was like this stick on a rice.
Like
It was
like a
it's
like a
gross meat on-
goulash, like a
like
goulash,
a goulash on a rice. But it was just the gross, and that meat comes out.
a
of it.
goulash. Yeah.
A goulash. Yes.
Yeah. Oh, don't be ridiculous.
It was a small waisted evening coat with Chanel.
Chanel button. In death, as in life, he was a tight fit that never suited me. So they're at the table having mystery meat. Molly Ringwald, little proto-feminist that she is kind of gagging that Sue-Ann's not eating.
Right.
And then Blair comes in with a magazine featuring the boy that Sue-Ann's going to go on a date with. And Sue-Ann stands up real quick to look at him and gag and passes out.
Gags.
She faints into the arms of Mr. Bradley.
Yes,
Okay.
who just happens to be standing right there, and but Mr. Bradley knows that she's been on a harsh diet, but
Right.
but then she's lying, and she's she grabs some of the meat, and she's like, oh no, da da da. I have to say though that Miss Garrett was not paying close enough attention to her girls because
Because she's starving. She's so hungry.
She's starving, yeah. And so Sue-Ann, literally, I don't know if they take her to the doctor, but she ends up in her room, after having passed out.
No, they put her in bed and bring her Chinese food. That's gonna solve it.
That
Mhm.
Tootie mostly eats mugu gai pan
It's-
and egg drop soup. And Tootie's
Right.
I don't care if you're hungry, because honey, trust me,
I'll eat it.
I'll eat it, honey.
She's ate it. She ate that shit. And but Mrs. Garrett's like,
Chipped beef, Miss Coconut Queen.
Right.
That's right.
hello,
Chipped- that's
mahalo,
exactly what it is.
mahalo. So Mrs. Garrett's like, I'll make you anything I want. Nobody can resist my rice pudding. I'm like, Mrs. Garrett, I can resist your rice pudding. Okay.
I hate
Because-
rice pudding.
Well, it just seems very yeasty to me. I don't
Yeah.
know what, I mean, especially postmenopausally. I'm not sure what she was offering. But
Girl, I thought she was serving rice pudding. She just had a yeast infection.
yummy. Oh, I see a kitty cat. So in the end,
Soylent green
Sue-Ann-
over rice.
Sue-Ann
that's
decides to eat because Mrs. Garrett brings her banana and says, I'm wearing my 14, bitch, because I feel flawless. You're going to gag on this.
But I
And
gotta
it's
say,
because of you that I decided to wear the size 14 because
Yeah.
I
That-
realized how stupid you look.
and that's exactly what she says to how
Right.
stupid you look, Sue-Ann. You look
Dumb
stupid.
You dumb bitch.
bitch. You
And then
dumb
Blair-
white bitch.
Blair comes
Um,
in with the rice pudding and she's apologizing, and Sue-Ann somehow spooges it all over her face,
Yes.
right? Or pushes
she's-
Blair's face into it.
There's some smells were funny with it, and then she goes to smell it and she dunks her head in it.
Right. And the last shot is Blair holding a banana with white
Smooch
glue all
all
over
over
her
her
face.
Yes.
I'm like, honey, the facts of cream pie at Eastland Academy. We do not need to see
Mm.
this. And so
Mhm.
that is the episode Dieting, where they lightly touch upon body issues and
Body
peer
image.
pressure and unrealistic expectations.
And
now,
you know
do
what?
they ever discuss lesbianism?
In the very first episode called Roughhousing, Blair accuses Cindy of being a lesbian.
Really?
Really?
Yep. she's
Way
like, "Oh, no."
before Joe. Way before Joe.
In literally the first episode, she's like, "Oh, you're always kissing on girls, and you're into softball, and da 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 da." And they never come out and say it, but Blair's
That's
like,
what they infer.
she's being a stink, nasty homophobe towards Cindy.
Wow.
We
Who's
should
like
take
the
a look
doc.
at that episode.
Cindy's the one with the pigtails.
Yes, who's adorable.
Yeah.
Cindy, that character, is a very interesting young actress because she was actually also on an episode of Wonder Woman, the girl from Islandia.
Yes,
plays
I
another
remember that
superhero.
little girl.
Yeah, and she has superpowers too. And she's
Oh my
really
God.
good. She's really good on that episode.
That's my
She's in a
favorite
couple
episode.
things.
She's also in The Great Santini.
Yes, that young actress worked, darling.
Yeah.
Is
she
that
did.
also is that the same young actress from Escape from Witch Mountain?
Oh
No, I don't think
oh,
so.
but the look is the same.
It's
Very similar.
very similar.
You know how like in the 70s there were like certain like like Cousin Oliver from Brady Bunch, there were like
Yeah.
30 actors that
Yeah.
looked like that.
Yeah.
It was a look. And by the way, what came first, Cousin Oliver or Bonnie Franklin? Because that hairdo put me through changes.
Or Cousin It.
But or Cousin It. Exactly.
Yeah.
Do you know that they never mentioned Cousin Oliver ever again, even though they did so many sequel after sequel after sequel for the Brady Bunch, but they never mentioned Oliver again.
Well, because he was the, let's
The
say the
also
sinking
ran.
ship.
Oh,
Yeah.
and I do want one last little thing about that episode of Facts of Life. I have to say that Miss Garrett, when she walked in wearing the dress, I thought she looked quite beautiful in that dress.
Yeah.
And it's not how big you are. It's how something
How
is
you wear
tailored. It's how you wear it, and also good tailoring. Good tailoring, no matter
And-
how big you are.
And purple is a great color for her. And she walked in with confidence and feeling sexy and feeling good about herself. And also for the whole episode, her bun had like a
This
Little
little
ponytail,
ponytail.
like
that
kind
looked
of
like a-
rocking around.
that looked like a dead muskrat. I wanted to kill it. I was not feeling it.
Retarded.
I think what happened is at the beginning of the episode, it came out by mistake.
And they liked it.
And then they had to keep it for continuity's sake.
Right. Right.
You know,
Yeah, it was very weird.
we should find out. Somebody write. Oh, she's dead. Never mind. So someone write to Charlotte Ray.
Did
but
you
she's
ever
gone.
see? You sent it to me where she called Joan Collins a bitch.
A bitch?
A bitch.
Yes.
and
then
Joan
Joan-
Collins laughed and was like, "Oh!"
No,
she
no,
kind of
Joan-
gagged.
Joan is like, who is this old cow?
Who is this cow?
Who
Don't you
is
know
this
you?
old cow?
And Joan is like, don't you know you never talk about another actor? Meanwhile, she just called Charlotte Ray a cow.
Yeah,
I also
And
saw.
she was always dissing Miss Honey. She was the actress that played Crystal. She
Linda
used to
Evans.
diss her all the
Evans.
time. Yeah.
There's also a clip I saw of Cloris Leachman on the Joan Rivers show, and she's talking about how Joan Collins was having an affair with her husband and called her up while her husband was on the way over and was like, "What are we going to do about this?" Like, that's nasty.
ooh,
That's
But
nasty.
you know what? But then that's how you figure out what we're going to do about this.
Right.
Because if somebody calls you and says, "What are we going to do about me about to fuck your husband?" We're going to
You
figure
just-
out what we're going to do about it.
Oh,
Yeah.
honey, Cloris is like, honey, the boy is mine. Okay.
Yeah.
And they had a Brandy and Monica moment. If somebody
Yes.
called me and said, your husband is on his way home, by the way, I just fucked
we
him. What
just
are we doing?
had. each
I'd be
other.
like, keep him, bitch. I'm changing the locks.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Keep him, bitch. I don't want him. You can have my leftovers, bitch. Have my chip beef. What about it?
I mean, it's
what about it?
it's tasty. Like, I still love Joan though. It's
Oh,
tasty
absolutely.
and mean, but I do.
Absolutely.
But she did gag at Charlotte Ray, and Charlotte Ray was like da 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 da. And what
Right.
Joan says, you never diss another actor. And I'm like, I don't
That's
know.
bullshit.
That's kind of then how would you how do people review movies and how to
Right.
Well,
That's
but
not
that's
true.
not an actor talking about an actor. That's a critic talking about an actor.
Yeah, but often like critics are failed actors. Not always, but it does happen. Like the guy that wrote Myra Breckenridge,
Rex Reed.
Rex
Oh no,
Reed.
Gore Vidal wrote the book. Rex Reed played
Was an
Myron.
actor.
Right, played the
Exactly.
Myron version, which is such a horrible, horrible movie. We should get to it at some point.
Yes.
Honey, I remember that you took me to see that movie at a different light bookstore downstairs. You remember?
Yes.
Downstairs, and they used to have like a movie night, and we went to see Myra Breckenridge. It was
And
so weird.
And I think we may have dipped out early.
I think we did,
'Cause
and I
it
think
was-
also it was also kind of like a meet and greet kind of feeling too, and
With-
like kind of like, hey, my name's Anthony, I'm 35.
Oh,
Da,
it was
da,
one
da,
of these, like when gay people would get together to socialize but not hook up.
Right.
When they used to do shit like that,
Yes.
which I guess at some point they will do again. Although I won't be there.
You'll be dead.
Yam will be there, but not me.
Right.
I might be dead. I realize I'm at the point of my life where I can honestly say relationships, love, sex, romance, That's all in the past for me. Okay. I want to go into my 40s with a clear conscience. Okay. Knowing who I am and what I'm about.
Well,
And
since
what
that
about
was
it?
over a decade ago, I think you did.
I just
Okay.
remember real quick somebody we know lip talks, not lip syncs, but lip talks to for instance, there's a recording, use window in a sentence, and then they get a ghetto bitch and she's like, I don't know when I'm gonna I got my AT&T bill, but I don't know when I'm gonna pay it.
I don't know what
window I'm gonna pay it.
I don't know how you got there from what we were saying, but I
don't either.
Window.
Window.
Well, on that note, listeners,
Yeah.
thank you so much for tuning in to So Auntieways, keeping the taint in entertainment.
That's right.
Yes, indeed. Please follow us on all our various platforms and get into our playlists and our videos and check out our link tree and our Teespring, which I think now is called Spring. I forgot to mention that. It's not called Teespring anymore. The point is, we got content, we got merch. Get into it. This is Shadiamond.
This is Miss Matinga.
And this is Booby.
So Auntie Way.
Matinga.
So Auntie Way.
Giselle.
Auntieways.